Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and this is going to be a brief little Star Trek novel review. How far would you go? To what lengths if the lives of your children lay hanging in the balance? What would you sacrifice to save them if they were stolen from you and put in mortal danger? These questions and more are raised in Book 1 of David Mack's new Star Trek novel trilogy, Star Trek The Next Generation: Cold Equations, The Persistence of Memory. Following on the coattails of his previous trilogy, Star Trek Destiny, set after the events portrayed in the last film to feature the Next Generation characters Nemesis, as well as the follow-up novel series Typhon Pact, which saw a new threat to the Federation in the form of a conglomerate of opposition worlds rising to power and succeeding the Borg to become the latest resounding threat to peace and security in the galaxy. The Persistence of Memory thrusts us back into the 24th century and on board the USS Enterprise E as commanded by Captain Jean-Luc Picard. With familiar faces ranging from the well-known Worf, LaForge, and Dr. Crusher, the latter of which now being the wife of the aforementioned captain, as well as faces perhaps unfamiliar to newer novel readers such as Merhova and Jasminder Chaudhary, who are all continuing to go boldly where no one has gone before. In fact, their destination herein is somewhat unexpected as it comes to involve the sole surviving brother of former Enterprise officer Commander Data, the simpleton android known as B4, when he is stolen by an unknown threat from one of Starfleet's sparsely located robotics labs headed by Captain Bruce Maddox, the man who at one time deemed Data to be nothing more than a mere machine, but has since become a strong advocate for the personal rights of artificially sentient life, particularly that of B4 himself. The first of many surprises to follow is the reveal of Dr. Noonien Sung being brought back into the fold as he sets himself on a path to redemption in the wake of such failures as Data's older brother Lore. A majority of this tome is nothing less than an extraordinary and revealing time spent inside the mind of this brilliant scientist as he watches Data from afar, set in flashbacks after Sung managed to escape death's clutches by thrusting himself into somewhat of an artificial life of his own concoction, until he learns of Data's last sacrificial act, giving his life to save his friend and captain at the conclusion of Nemesis. In the wake of this, realizing that one of Data's final acts saw him depositing his memory engrams into the mind of his ill-equipped brother B4, Sung and Maddox both realize that the much more basic android is soon to suffer much the same unfortunate fate, as his positronic brain will simply overload, and what begins in the aftermath of B4's kidnapping is an epic and tumultuous journey which Sung takes upon himself, with the reluctant help of the crew of the Enterprise, as he is a man who dares to dream he can not only save one son, but two, and perhaps even his own soul in the process. David Mack expertly wheels and deals slices of the fondly familiar settings and species most if not all Trekkies and Trekkers know and love, aptly setting up plot elements and delivering on them with resounding satisfaction, tense, edge-of-your-seat action, and outright shocking twists and turns as the story unfolds. There was never a dull moment for this reader, and the depth and humanity brought forth, especially and ironically, through the thought processes of Dr. Sung himself, as well as the brilliant journey through the history of his creations and life, the Sung lore, if you will, makes this novel a must-read for fans of the Next Generation, Data, and the largely enigmatic Dr. Sung himself. And it leaves us by the end with an intriguing look ahead to the next chapter set within the framework of this enticingly unfolding mystery. I'll be rating The Persistence of Memory a solid 4 out of 4. And so that's pretty much all I have to say on this particular novel. It was an awesome read. I really enjoyed it. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. You know, if you are a fan of Trek fiction, who are some of your favorite authors? What are some of your favorite books in the series? For me, one of my all-time favorites is definitely the Vanguard saga, as co-written and created by David Mack, authors Dayton Ward, Kevin Dillmore, and Marco Palmieri. And some other authors I really enjoy the works of set within the Star Trek universe are Keith R.A. DeCandido, Margaret Wanda Bonanno, Greg Cox, Peter David. So, yeah, I'd definitely love to hear from you guys what you dig along the lines of Star Trek novels. And otherwise, that's going to be pretty much it for me. So, I'll catch you later. Peace.